everybody, welcome back. It's Paula here. Today we are going to be closing out our November 17th paycheck budget. Seeing how our estimates compared to what we actually did and how it all worked out. Sorry. Okay. So for our income, let's zoom us in right here. So for our income, that was exactly what our income was. What my income was, 1,164.93, and my husband's check was 1,463.98. I donated twice a week for 2 weeks for plasma, so that's $260. We did pull in $868.96 from our sinking fund, from our car gas sinking fund. I did not do any reselling, but I do have some what I'm calling roundups, which is $6.68. So for anyone who's new here, I'm going to explain as briefly as I can what roundups are. So when I do my check-ins, I account for spending that I have made on my card, and let's just say I spent $21.18 on an item. I will take $22 in cash from my variable envelopes or my sinking funds, and I will deposit that back into the bank. So $22 goes in to the bank, but only $21.18 is what I said, I think, comes out and goes onto the card, which leaves 82 cents that went back into my account, and this is how I'm accounting for it to make my math work out. So all the cash that I deposited in and rounding up, that is added back in this column, which is there, which leaves our income for this pay period at $3,764.55. Couldn't quite see the column I was working in there. Okay, so that's our total income. So we're coming down to fixed expenses. I apologize for these lines. I started crossing things out on the back of this paper, and then it was after that I realized that it was totally bleeding through. So that's my apologies on that. So for the donation that we make each month in our fixed expenses here, that was $200. Our HELOC is our only current debt, and right now, okay, so that payment was $482.14. That was the minimum monthly payment on that. For our cell phone bill, it came out to $196.48. For life insurance, it is $131 per pay period. Our Netflix subscription is $10.69, and our Amazon Prime subscription is $7.48 per month. The before school program, I paid $27. I did put $50 away for car registration. I've struggled with this over the years. I know that that's technically a sinking fund, but I like it as a fixed expense because it is for a bill, and I know that it needs to come out and to be there. So the internet, I pay half per paycheck, or set aside half per paycheck. So that was $30.67 to pay the second half of that. And then in the month of November, we had to pay for the car gas fill that we had in October. That's where the sinking fund, that's what this was pulled in to cover. So that was $868.96. Okay, so that leaves our fixed expenses. So that leaves our fixed expenses at $2,004.42, if my math serves me right. Which puts us a little under what we estimated, which is always fun when you're under. Okay, so if I take the difference between that and what we started with, I have $1,760.13 left to budget. As we go down into our variable expenses, so here in variable expenses, I did pull $280 for groceries, $100 for eating out, $20 for beauty, $50 for drinks, $20 for household, $140 for allowance. That's $70 for each, my husband and I. That is spent on anything we want it to be. I did pull, I think I only pulled out $6 for church. For my kids, they put $1 in the donut thing and $1 in the collection basket. I pulled out $20 for family fun, $10 for car washes. Amazon subscriptions ended up being $101.83. Amazon subscriptions are most of our household stuff. So deodorant, toothpaste, soap, dishwashing detergent, toilet paper, paper towels, Kleenex, all sorts of things like that, whatever I consider household. So I do consider it household. But the amount changes every month. Some things come every month, every other month, depending on the subscriptions. So it took me a long time to get that system down. $0 for work meals was spent in this pay period. So to add up and insurance. So in the month of November was the month that our car insurance was due. Car and homeowners insurance was due. We pay it every 6 months. And I usually set money aside from the first paycheck every month for that. But I didn't have enough, even though I upped what I pulled out earlier in November. I still, to be able to make the payment when it was due, had to pull out $76.34 from this paycheck. So that was accurate. That is what I did. So let's add this up. Okay, so the total of our variable expenses was $824.17. If I subtract that from the $1,760.13 that we had left when we were going into variable expenses, that leaves me with $935.96 moving forward to our sinking funds. So moving up here to sinking funds, I did set $25 aside for Christmas this pay period. Nothing for LP and nothing in our travel sinking fund this time because I had to cover that insurance. That's where that went. I did put $20 into the online kids sinking fund and $100 into the gas sinking fund. $25 into vehicle repair sinking fund online. All of those, they're just in a high yield savings account divided up into buckets. I have envelopes for some of these things also, but I do like to just stow away a little bit, out of sight, out of mind, and to have more than what I have access to in my envelopes. 52-week challenge. We are doing that. I think this was weeks 48 and 5. So that's 53 per pay period that I do for that, and it goes right into my emergency fund. So we did put the 53 toward that. Put 300 towards our project. We are coming up on the end of that, but I am saving that until we get our final bill for it. Nothing for Google because my Google storage was a sinking fund and I fully funded that with a savings challenge. So I do not need to put anything toward that right now. Nothing towards a medical sinking fund at this time. We have, and I do have, well, that's a story for another day. We mainly used our Flex. My husband and I currently, in this current year, have Flex spending accounts through our job. We both draw out the max, so that covers, the knock on wood, our medical expenses out of pocket. So then cash envelopes. So this is my cash sinking funds as well as my savings challenges. And that actually got $379 this paychecks, or in this pay period. So it got the 107 I guess yeah, 107 that was budgeted, the $2 from Google, so that was 109. The $3 here that I was under the before school program, it got all 260 of our plasma dollars, and $3 here, the difference in the cell phone. So when I am under in those areas, I roll it over into savings challenges and sinking funds, and that's how I fund those. Also, if I have rollover or extra money out of these categories, that gets funneled into there too, but I don't necessarily keep track of how many grocery dollars went here. I just this is what I pulled for variable expenses, minus the 2 that aren't cash. This is what I pulled for variable expenses, and if any of it doesn't get used, it does go there, but I still put it over here when I'm categorizing it. So let's add up our sinking funds. So that leaves us with $902 that we put into sinking funds during this pay period. And then if I subtract that from the $935.96 that we had going in, that leaves me with $33.96 going down into our other category. And now let's see if I can make sure that we get those in the right spots. So we had an extra debt. I put some, essentially what I kind of started doing is taking the difference between the $500 that I budget for our debt and what the actual payment is. And I take that and I put it in my debt binder of savings challenges right now that I am adding up to make a principal payment at the end of the year. So we budgeted nothing for extra debt, but I put 17 toward it. And then I had one miscellaneous thing, which was $14.42. You'll see my check-in. Yeah, you'll see my check-in before this. We went over on some things and I was able to pull cash from other places, but essentially this was what I couldn't pull cash for a grocery store trip to get a bottle of alcoholic beverages. So that was our miscellaneous expense, was half of that Fairway trip that I couldn't pull from other cash, or didn't have other cash to pull from. And then that change isn't going to come up right, I don't think. Okay, so is buffer. 102 is what I have in here as the buffer. So let's do this math quick. 1442 plus 17 plus 102. 32.44. $1.52. I wonder where. I figured it out. Okay, so for car gas, I actually put 101.52 towards it because even with that 100 that I pulled, I didn't have enough to pay the bill. So I actually paid 101.52, which means 902 plus the 152 difference there makes this total 903.52, which means my leftover from the 935.96 minus 903.52 leaves me with 32.44. Then coming down here, I have the 14.42 in miscellaneous, the 17 in extra debt, and the $1.02 that went towards the buffer, and that leaves me with 32.44 in other, which brings me to my zero-based budget. So that balances out. I always have to do it just seems like every time something just throws me a little bit for a loop, even if I'm feeling prepared to do this video. So that is what our budget looked like for the paycheck starting November 17th paycheck, which I'm closing out on the 30th because tomorrow is December 1st and it is our next payday. So we will be jumping right into that. It's already set up. You've already seen that video if you watch the setup videos, and you will be able to, I think the next thing you'll probably see will be a cash stuffing and the savings challenges, everything that comes with the next paycheck here. on December 1st. So please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please ask any questions or leave any comments in the comment box below, and consider subscribing if you have not already. Thanks so much, guys, and until next time, bye.